Say hi to the camera. Hey, say hi. There you go, yeah. So, he's panting. It's a hot summer's day. Beautiful, beautiful, sunny summer's day. Blue skies. Skies that are so blue, I haven't seen them for decades, and that's truly wonderful. But we won't talk about why that is. Maybe save it for another conversation. Anyway, we are enjoying our walk out in the woods on this gorgeous summer's day, spectacular summer's day. And I relish the freedom, the opportunity, the ability to go out with Jasper, my Zen master teacher. Where is he? There he, oh, way up there, okay. For a walk in the woods. And I relish the freedom that I have to shoot this video that some of you will end up watching. I guess everybody who hears me say that will have watched it. Some people, most people in the world will not see it. Anyway, so maybe you're blessed. What do I want to talk about today? Let's talk about mind control, shall we? Okay, in case you haven't noticed it, there is a battle going on for control of your mind. And there are forces out there who want to be able to control what information you have access to, and influence, maybe go beyond influence, maybe even determine exactly how it is that you get to think, what you get to think about, why you get to think it, and more importantly, what you're not allowed to think about, not allowed to talk about, and not allowed to see or listen to. Okay, so there's a battle going on. On one side of this battle for your mind are the traditional, entrenched forces of institutions, bureaucracies, churches, governments, and most importantly, because that's where many of you get your information, the mass media. Okay, so they have a narrative that they're spinning, and I'm going to ignore for most of this conversation the current narrative about this virus thing and all of the stuff that goes around it. There's enough information out there for you to go looking on your own. But there is a battle going on to limit your ability to think for yourself, to think critically, to think rationally, to think differently even. You know, let's say you want to think weird shit, right? Okay. There's a battle going on for your mind, for your freedom to think. And it's a hard-fought battle right now. Okay? I'm going to bring up my personal experience, you know, yesterday's personal experience, but in a minute. But in the meantime, let me say that, okay, we've got this narrative that's basically being shoved down your throat, right? Like a ventilator, shoved down your throat, okay? And you're being force-fed this particular kind of information about the story of reality. And it tells you what to think and how to think and why to think, what to feel, how to feel, and what you are not supposed to think, okay? Calls the things that you're not supposed to think about by any matter, any number of derogatory terms, right? Okay, so that, you know, it denigrates the people who are speaking a contrary opinion. So worse than denigrating the people who have a contrary opinion, and calling them all kinds of names that caused you to think about them in a certain way so that you don't listen to their opinion, they're banning them. They're cutting them off from you, right? They're censoring them. They're taking their ability to reach out to the world away from them. And as a consequence of that, they are telling you that you're not smart enough to discriminate and decide for yourself what you want to watch, what you want to read, what you want to listen to, and how you want to think. Okay? That's what they're telling you, that you're not bright enough, smart enough, capable enough of thinking for yourself. So they cut off the stuff, the information flow of people who are saying things that are contrary to, counter to the mainstream narrative that is being force-fed to you. All right, so that's what's going on out there in the world right now. All right, I got banned only for 24 hours from Facebook for violating community standards 7 times in the last 7 days. And you know what all those posts were about? They weren't about lizard people doing child sacrifices. They weren't about inciting hate or advocating violence or any of those things that we all agree should be, kind of suppressed and not allowed to go on. We don't want people talking about preaching hate for other people. We don't want people posturing for violence. We don't want people pushing pedophilia, all of that kind of stuff. We don't want that kind of stuff in our society because it's just not nice, right? But no, what they censored me for was none of that. What they banned me for only 24 hours. No big deal. I can take a vacation from social media. What they banned me from Facebook for talking about 7 times in the last 7 times in the last 7 days was the stupidity about wearing masks. Can you imagine that? Masks, right? I'm not allowed to have an opinion. If I am, I have to keep it to myself. I'm certainly not allowed to express it so that you can see it. One of the posts that they objected to, believe it or not, was liked by 100 and some people and was shared. And I think this is the one that caught their attention. That post that they didn't like, the last one that they actually had enough of me with. They just gone, that's enough of that guy for now. Let's give him a lesson, a little slap on the wrist, teach him not to do that stuff, which they haven't. They won't, because I'll keep speaking up. It had been shared almost 250 times by other people. Okay, I think that's what got their attention. It's okay for me, it's my limited audience, maybe blah, 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 blah. The 6 previous times, all they did was send me a notice and saying that you are in breach of our community guidelines for talking about the stupidity of wearing masks, right? But that 7th one that was shared almost 250 times definitely got their attention. Boom, immediately I'm cut off from the platform, right? Okay, for 24 hours, no big deal. Okay. You might think that I'm bitching about the fact that I was cut off. I'm not. I want to point out to you the fact that the mask and being cut off for talking about the mask are indicative of exactly one thing. You are being muzzled. You are being prevented from speaking out, even if you're not, right? Even if you've decided not. Even if you decide to believe the whole promulgated narrative that is being pushed at you. Even if you believe it 100%. You are still being muzzled, still being prevented from thinking, still being prevented from speaking your opinion, still being told to shut the fuck up, okay? More importantly, told not to think anything contrary to what you're being told to think, okay? That's what's going on. It truly is, okay? So it's not about me. I don't really care. 24 hours, who cares, right? Okay. So this whole movement to censor people, and it doesn't matter how weird these people are, you should still have the ability, the freedom, the opportunity to decide for yourself who's crazy, right? Who's talking about weird shit that you don't want any access to. Spend 30 seconds, punch on a video, look at it for 30 seconds, go like, this guy is out of his mind. He's talking bullshit, and I'm not going to listen, and move on, right? Or turn off the TV set, whatever. You can do that. It's your right, your freedom, should be your open-ended freedom, never brought into question. But that's not what's going on. There are all kinds of people out there who have bigger voices than me, who have bigger reaches than me, who talk about some of the same things I talk about, or even talk about some stuff that I think is just like off the wall, crazy stuff, who are being banned, right? Whose voice is not being allowed to be heard because the powers that be, the entrenched institutions, government, society, bureaucracies, and their friends in the media, which I have been calling fake news for way longer than the current president of the United States has. I've been telling people to turn off their television and turn on their intervision since the last century, since the previous century. Imagine that. So more than 20 years. Okay, so a lot longer than the current president of the United States has been saying fake news, and he's right, fake news. I've been saying it. All right. Anyway, this is about your freedom to think for yourself. This is about your freedom to speak speak for yourself. This is about your freedom to be able to choose how and what you choose to believe about yourself and your relationship to life on planet Earth. That's what this is about. And this force that is doing their level best to shut down any alternative voices is not trying to protect you for your own good. They're trying to prevent you from thinking for yourself. And think about that. They're trying to prevent you from thinking about yourself by cutting off your sources of information, of education, of ways of looking at and perceiving the world. They're trying to prevent you from doing that. And that's important. And you need to start paying attention to that. And you need to start speaking out, right? And thinking about it, right? Even if you're not out there pitching some outlandish theory yourself, or even if you buy 100% into the propaganda narrative that they're pushing at you, even if you buy 100% into that, you've got to understand that when they do not allow people who do not agree with that controlled narrative to speak, they are assaulting you. They are preventing you from thinking clearly, concisely, and freely about yourself, your existence in this great and wonderful universe. Look at this world, right, that we live in. It's incredibly beautiful. They're telling you how to think, and they don't like other people who suggest that you might want to have a different opinion or listen to different information. They are muzzling you, right? They are telling you how to think, and they will prevent you from speaking, right? If this continues to go on, at some point, you will only be allowed to echo what you're being told to say, to think, and to say, right? That's where this is headed. If you do not recognize that, then God bless you. I'll see you in the concentration camps. All right. Love you for now. Enjoy your day. I'm going to keep speaking out, by the way. I'm not being muzzled. Most of my stuff is about empowering people, personal development stuff, success literature, all the stuff that I'm famous for the last 25 years. That'll be the main message all the time. But I will also speak my opinion about current events, okay? And, my opinion about masks is they're a complete waste of fucking time, and they're not about protecting you. They're about muzzling you, right? Think about that. Think seriously about that. Okay, love you all. Ciao for now.